while we're still waiting for a few people to come, let me show you some helpful ideas and some lame jokes to get us started this semester. So let me share my screen with you. So you've had a teacher at some point in your life. He asked you to find X, right, on the length of the side of a triangle, a right triangle. And what did some smart aleck say? One of you probably said this at some point. There it is, right? No, probably not what the teacher meant. What do we call this long side of the right triangle? Anybody remember?
The hypotenuse.
Oh, is it a hypotenuse or a hypotenuse? Huh? Come on, that's pretty good. All right, I got one person laughing. That makes me happy. Maybe more. It's just hard to tell with the microphones muted, right? We study in this class polynomials. Have you heard of those? Polynomials, come on. There's caveman math. So caveman plus spear plus boar equals fat caveman. Caveman minus spear plus boar equals fat boar. Yeah? And then I like the little dinosaur tag on this guy's back. Caveman math. You had to know it back in the day. And then I do have a deep thought for you. Maybe the most important thing we'll talk about all day. Here we go. Instead of having answers on a math test, they should just call them impressions. And if you got a different impression, so what? Can't we all be brothers? There you go. That's your deep thought. But seriously, folks, I'm not going to quit my day job to become a comedian, I promise. Seriously. So I do have some tips for online learners, and I do think they're worth knowing. So here we go. I've got a few big categories to talk about. The biggest one is managing your time. If you're going to be an online learner, you do a lot of self-paced work and you have to learn to manage your time. So we're going to talk about that in a second. And then we're also going to talk about creating a workspace to do your work. We'll talk about staying in touch and, be a serious student. So let's start with time management. So what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to each week schedule blocks of time for working on this course and try to stick with those blocks of time. In other words, develop a schedule, because that will help you manage your time if you know when you're going to be working on something. During that time, let friends and family know you won't be available. Keep an eye on assignment due dates and announcements. I actually communicate more through emails than announcements, so make sure you keep an eye on either your Palomar email, or you can set Canvas up to forward your email to another address, or it can text announcements or emails to you. So I'll show you how to set that up as well. But keep an eye on those assignment due dates and announcements or emails, and plan accordingly. Don't wait until the last minute to study for an exam. By then it really is too late. You can't like study for 1 hour and before an exam and expect to do all that well. Please don't try to work 40 hours a week, take 20 units, and have a social life. You can't do that. I can't, nobody can. So manage your time and realize when you're trying to do too much. Okay, so that's time management. And then let's talk about your workspace. You should find a quiet place to work on this course, if at all possible. Make sure you have a good internet connection and a reliable computer. Silence your phone while you're studying. I mean, seriously, avoid the distractions of texting and social media. Math is hard enough to learn without these things getting in your way. And then I included another comic just because I liked it. You're not alone. So we've got Calvin here, and he's exclaiming, imaginary numbers? And then we've got Hobbs here saying, 11, 30, 12, and all those. It's a little confusing at first. I just like the look on his face, because we're going to study imaginary numbers this semester. And that was the look on my face when I first heard of imaginary numbers. I thought regular numbers were bad enough. Anyway, you're not alone. Let's talk about that. You can use the discussion board on Canvas to communicate with me and your and your peers, excuse me. Posting questions on the discussion board will help your fellow students because a lot of them probably have the same question. I said 10 or more, who knows? It might be everybody who has the same question. So post your, say your homework questions, any other questions you have on the discussion board if that's okay with you. If you want to talk about it with me via email or Zoom meeting, that's fine too. You can always get in touch with me via email, cchamberlain@palomar.edu. But of course, you could just use Canvas and it'll go to my email. You can expect a reply usually much faster than 24 hours, but usually that's the longest time you would expect me not to reply would be 24 hours. I usually check my email several times a day. So I usually reply pretty quickly. You can come to my, office hours. So what does office hours look like in this COVID world? Well, you can always email me. You can set up a Zoom meeting. So I'm not going to have set office hours. I'm going to make myself available to you when you need me. And, you know, within reason. I have an 8-year-old son, so he needs me too. Seriously, get help with me though if you need it. I'm here to help you out. Finally, be a serious student. This is a serious class, so be a serious student. Don't fast forward through my videos. We're going to talk about my lecture videos, and the temptation for a lot of students is to fast forward through them. Don't do it. I'm telling you, you're going to learn a lot from these videos. Watch them all the way through. They'll help you, I promise. This is really important, you guys. Don't do the homework as fast as you can just to get it done. That may help you on the homework, but it won't help you do well on the tests. Do the online homework on paper, showing all important steps. Make sure you understand the concepts behind the questions. Take time to study what's going on behind the questions, not just the numbers. Don't be afraid of being wrong. Check your answers. There are ways to check your answers using technology. And of course, the online homework software will tell you whether or not you got the right answer. Get help when you need it. So be serious, but not too serious, right? I like to tell lame jokes, as you might have already noticed. Okay, so you might know the answer to this one. Why is 6 afraid of 7? Why is 6 afraid of 7? Go ahead and shout it out if you know it.
Because 7, 8, 9.
Because 7, 8, 9. Yep. That's a terrible joke. I apologize. Okay, you might not know this one. What did the number 0 say to the number 8? What did 0 say to 8? He said, nice belt. Got a little belt here. Yeah. All right. That's even worse than the last joke. Sorry. Okay, and then you might know this one. Why are math books sad? Why are math books sad? Well, they're full of math problems. They're full of problems. They have lots of problems. I guess I blew the punchline of that. They have lots of problems. There you go.